How are you guys doing? Today is December 9th, 2020. I here in this quarantine. I'm James Sims, and for this episode of The Elite, I'm going to take you through the NFL stat leaders following Week 13, the 2020 NFL season. Of course, I'm going to give these updates every couple weeks or so, just to show you how these players are trending, especially as the year progresses. And of course, I'm just going to jump right into it, starting with passing stats. Looking at the passing yards leaders for 2020, right now the current leader in the NFL passing yards is Patrick Mahomes, the reigning Super Bowl MVP for the reigning 2019 NFL champions, the Kansas City Chiefs. The elite quarterback has 3,815 yards on the season through 12 games. In second place is Deshaun Watson, the elite quarterback from the Houston Texans, who has 3,542 yards through his 12 games. In third place, it's Russell Wilson, the elite quarterback from the Seattle Seahawks, who has 3,479 yards. In fourth place, it is Matt Ryan, the elite quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons, with 3,436 yards. And in fifth place, it's Josh Allen, the starting quarterback of the Buffalo Bills, who has 3,403 passing yards on the season. And looking at pass completion percentage of starting quarterbacks, I think it's worth noting that Drew Brees, through 9 games, completed 73.5% of his passes, which is the best mark in football. And second out of starting quarterbacks, Teddy Bridgewater's completed 70.2% of his passes. In third place, Russell Wilson, the elite quarterback from the Seattle Seahawks, has completed 70% of his passes. That's the best clip for all the quarterbacks that have started 12 games. In fourth place, Josh Allen of the Buffalo Bills has completed 69.9% of his passes in 12 games. And in fifth place, Aaron Rodgers, the goated quarterback from the Green Bay Packers, has completed 68.9% of his passes. That's third best out of quarterbacks that have played 12 games. I'm currently looking at passing touchdowns on the season just to show you how that's going. Right now, Aaron Rodgers, for the goated quarterback for the Green Bay Packers, leads the league in touchdown passes. He has 36 touchdown passes to go along with 4 interceptions on the season. In second place, Russell Wilson, the elite quarterback from the Seattle Seahawks, has 32 touchdowns to go with his 11 interceptions. In third place, Patrick Mahomes, the elite quarterback from the Kansas City Chiefs, has 31 touchdowns to his name with 2 interceptions. In fourth place, Tom Brady, the goated quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, has 28 touchdowns through 12 games. And in fifth place, Ben Roethlisberger, the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, has 27 touchdown passes in that time with 7 interceptions. Looking at the interceptions leaders so far this season, Carson Wentz, the starting quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles, leads the league with 15 interceptions on the season. In second place, it's Drew Lock of the Denver Broncos, who has 13 interceptions in 9 games to go along with his 9 touchdowns. In third place, Kirk Cousins, the starting quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings, has 12 interceptions to his name in 12 games. And tied for fourth, you have goated quarterback Tom Brady and elite quarterback Russell Wilson. Brady of the Buccaneers, Wilson of the Seattle Seahawks. Both are sitting with 11 interceptions this season, and both of them are sitting in the top 5. And even though it doesn't matter, I'm just looking at who has been sacked the most so far this season. Through 12 games, Carson Wentz has been sacked more than any other quarterback. He's been sacked 50 times in 12 games. In second place, Russell Wilson, the elite quarterback from the Seattle Seahawks, has been sacked 40 times. Tied for third, Matthew Stafford of the Detroit Lions and Deshaun Watson, the elite quarterback from the Houston Texans, have both been sacked 33 times. And Joe Burrow, the number 1 pick this past year for the Cincinnati Bengals, was sacked 32 times, which is the 5th most in the NFL. Right now, looking at the rushing leaders, the current leader in rushing yards is Derrick Henry, the elite running back for the Tennessee Titans, who has 1,317 yards to his name on the ground. In second place, Dalvin Cook of the Minnesota Vikings has 1,250. Derrick Henry and Dalvin Cook are the only players so far in the season that have eclipsed 1,000 rushing yards. In third place, James Robinson of the Jacksonville Jaguars has 968 yards. Ronald Jones, the second of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, is fourth with 820 yards to his name. And Nick Chubb of the Cleveland Browns is 5th in the league with 799 rushing yards in 8 games. That's a pretty impressive feat considering what he's doing. He's on pace to be in the same category as Dalvin Cook and Derrick Henry. He's just played 4 less games. And then looking at the touchdown leaders on rushing touchdowns, Dalvin Cook currently leads the league with 13 rushing touchdowns to his name. In second place is Derrick Henry, the elite running back for the Tennessee Titans, who has 12 to his name. Tied for third, you have Antonio Gibson, the running back from the Washington football team, and Cam Newton, the elite quarterback for the New England Patriots, who both have 11 rushing touchdowns this season. And 5th in the league is Kyler Murray, the starting quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals, who has 10 touchdowns so far this season. Currently looking at the fumble leaders so far this year, Taysom Hill, the quarterback for the New Orleans Saints, has fumbled 7 times. That's more than any other player. Ezekiel Elliott, the elite running back from the Dallas Cowboys, has fumbled 5 times, which is second most in the NFL. And then tied for third with 4 fumbles, you have Russell Wilson, the elite quarterback from the Seattle Seahawks, Lamar Jackson, the elite quarterback from the Baltimore Ravens, Joe Burrow, the reigning number 1 pick for the Cincinnati Bengals, and Josh Allen, the starting quarterback for the Buffalo Bills. And then looking at the receiving leaders this season, the current leaders in reception is Keenan Allen of the Los Angeles Chargers and Stephon Diggs of the Buffalo Bills. Both have 90 receptions to their name this season. Sitting in third is elite wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins of the Arizona Cardinals. He has 85. Devontae Adams is fourth in the league with 84 receptions, and Travis Kelce, the elite tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs, is fifth in the league with 82 receptions to his name. Looking at receiving yards, DK Metcalf, the wide receiver for the Seattle Seahawks, leads the league with 1,119 yards on 63 receptions. He's averaging 17.8 yards a reception, and he's leading the league in receptions, which is a very elite feat to have. Travis Kelce, the elite tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs, is second in the league as he has 1,114 receiving yards to his name. Tyreek Hill, the elite wide receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs, is third in the NFL with 1,079 receiving yards. The only pair of teammates with 1,000 receiving yards. So of course, props to Pat Mahomes. Justin Jefferson of the Minnesota Vikings is fourth in the league with 1,039 yards. And Stephon Diggs of the Buffalo Bills is fifth in the NFL with 1,037 yards so far this season. Devontae Adams and elite wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins are the other 2 receivers that have eclipsed 1,000 receiving yards in the season. And looking out to receiving touchdowns this year, the current leader is Devontae Adams of the Green Bay Packers. He and Tyreek Hill, the elite wide receiver of the Kansas City Chiefs, both have 13 receiving touchdowns this year. Adam Thielen is third in the NFL of the starting wide receiver for the Minnesota Vikings, has 12 touchdowns this year through the air. In fourth place, it's Mike Evans, the elite wide receiver for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He has 11. And in fifth place, it's DK Metcalf of the Seattle Seahawks, who has 9 receiving touchdowns this year. And so far, looking at the longest reception this year still belongs to Chase Claypool from Big Ben from early in the season, so I think that's also worth noting. Jumping to the defensive stats, the current leader in tackles is Zach Cunningham of the Houston Texans, who has 119 tackles to his name. Sitting in second place is Jalen Smith of the Dallas Cowboys, who has 112. Blake Martinez of the New York Giants has 111. He's in third place. Roquan Smith of the Chicago Bears is in fourth with 110. Devin White is fifth in the NFL. Devin White of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers has 109 tackles to his name, which is good enough for fifth in the league. And then Bobby Wagner, the Seattle Seahawks elite linebacker, is seventh in the league with 106 total tackles on the season. Looking at the sack leaders thus far, TJ Watt of the Pittsburgh Steelers currently leads the league with 12 sacks. In second place is Aaron Donald, the go-to defensive tackle for the Los Angeles Rams, who has 11 this year. And then there's a 3-way tie for third in the NFL. With 10.5 sacks, we have Zadarius Smith from the Green Bay Packers, Trey Hendrickson from the New Orleans Saints, and Myles Garrett, the elite defensive end for the Cleveland Browns so far this year. Looking at tackles for losses, leader TJ Watt of the Pittsburgh Steelers leads the league with 21 tackles for loss. Roquan Smith of the Bears is tied with in second place with. He's tied in second place with Vince Williams of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Zadarius Smith of the Green Bay Packers, and Joey Bosa of the Los Angeles Chargers. They each have 15 tackles for loss in the season. Looking at the defensive side of the ball, or looking at the secondary, there's a 3-way tie for passes defended in the NFL. James Bradbury of the New York Giants, Xavier Howard of the Miami Dolphins, and Carlton Davis of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers all lead the league with 16 passes defended. Denzel Ward of the Cleveland Browns and Jalen Johnson of the Chicago Bears are tied for second with 15 passes defended. Looking at interception leaders, Xavier Howard of the Miami Dolphins leads the league with 8 interceptions on the year through 12 games, which is a very impressive feat. In second place, you have J.C. Jackson of the New England Patriots, who has 7. And then third in the NFL is Tyrann Mathieu of the Kansas City Chiefs, who has 4 interceptions. And then there is a 7-way tie for fourth place with 4 interceptions. You have Harrison Smith, the elite safety for the Minnesota Vikings, Quandre Diggs, the safety for the Seattle Seahawks, Justin Simmons, the safety for the Denver Broncos, Kendall Fuller, the cornerback for the Washington football team, Carlton Davis, the cornerback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Minkah Fitzpatrick, the safety for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Darius Williams, the cornerback for the LA Rams, are all sitting with 4 interceptions on the season, which is good enough to tie them for 4th in the league. And looking at points scored in the league, the current leader in points scored is Young Hoya Ko, the place kicker for the Atlanta Falcons, who has 119 points to his name. Jason Sanders of the Dolphins is second with 111. Daniel Carlson of the Las Vegas Raiders is third with 107. Tyler Bass of the Buffalo Bills is fourth with 105. And Ryan Suckup of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Harrison Butker of the Kansas City Chiefs, and Rodrigo Blankenship of the Indianapolis Colts are all tied for fifth with 102 points scored on the season. And with that said, that's what the NFL stats leaderboard is looking like as of the completion of Week 13 before Week 14 gets started tomorrow. With that said, once again, I am James Sims, sitting here in the Elite on Wednesday, December 9th, 2020. But of course, with that said, I'll get back to you, especially with videos like this, following Week 15 to keep everyone updated on how the stats leaderboard is going thus far. All the credit in the world to the players that are sitting at the top of their respective leaderboards. It's very tough to do to be one of the best players at your position, let alone lead in a statistical category. And with that said, I think all credit is due. But with that said, I appreciate you guys for listening to all 11 minutes of this piece. I hope all is well, and peace out. I'll catch you in a couple weeks.